The main drivers are increase of our production, controlling cost, and as a result, we're happy to report that we're going to exceed expectations that were in the marketplace. Expect revenues to be over 65 million. Expect EBITDA to be over 11 million.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Iofina CEO, Dr. Tom Becker. Tom, very good to speak with you and Happy New Year. So 2025, another record year with production up by more than 17%. What do you see as the main drivers behind that consistency across all your plants?
Yeah, Stephen, Happy New Year. 2025 for Iofina was pretty good. What's driving this? It's our employees' commitment to executing the job in front of them and working with our partners for delivery of the brine water for us to produce our iodine. But frankly, it's also us reinvesting back into the business and growing our iodine production through new plants. We had record production not only in the fourth quarter, but in the second half of the year for the full year, and all double-digit year-on-year growth. So really strong year for Iofina in 2025, and we look to push that momentum into 2026 as well.
I mean, that's right, because you're guiding to revenue and EBITDA beating market expectations. How much of that uplift is volume driven versus pricing, Tom?
Yeah, so pricing has been fairly consistent throughout the year, and frankly, iodine prices has been fairly consistent over the last 3 years. Basically been in a relatively tight, consistent range, which we believe will continue into 2028. So for us, the main drivers are increase of our production, controlling cost, and as a result, we're happy to report that we're going to exceed expectations that were in the marketplace. Expect revenues to be over 65 million. Expect EBITDA to be over 11 million. And those indications we're very proud of as we finish the year with a strong sales cycle in the second half of the year, and we're able to get orders out the door and recognized before year end.
Iodine prices stayed above $70 throughout 2025. Tom, how confident are you that demand can support those levels into 2026 and beyond?
Yeah, so we've seen strong demand for iodine and our iodine derivatives here in 2025. Some iodine derivatives have had some ups and downs, but for the most part have been good for Iofina. But the raw iodine demand, our crystalline iodine, is seeing demand. So for our sales team has built a core group of customers around the world who is growing their iodine purchases from Iofina as we continue to grow our production. We made 743 metric tons of our crystalline iodine last year versus 634 metric tons the previous year. So it is not. It is upon us to make sure that we have that sales cycle and partnerships in place to be able to sell the iodine or iodine derivatives that we're producing as we expand our production.
We chatted about it recently, Tom, and your new Permian Basin plant will be the largest you've ever built. What does it change for Iofina in terms of scale, margins, and growth profile?
Yeah, so very excited about the new partnership with Western in the Permian Basin. Now we'll have three core areas of iodine production, one in Northwest Oklahoma, one in Central Oklahoma, where we built our last 3 plants, and now we're just started construction of a plant in the Permian Basin. The Permian Basin, just our partner alone, which is a very small part of the water handling in the Permian Basin, handles over 2.6 million barrels of brine water a day. Now, all of that brine water doesn't have iodide in it. It's economically viable to extract iodine. But, our geology team has worked extensively in the Permian Basin, identifying areas in the Permian Basin where we believe, economically produce iodine. We're committed to executing that. This plant that we've just started under construction, we anticipate will be online in the second half of 2026, with about twice the capacity of our normal ISO plants in Oklahoma. And we think it's going to produce between 170 and 220 metric tons. So very exciting about the growth potential for Iofina. And one of the great things about how we've run our business is we're basically using, with a little bit of bank debt, the cash that we generate from our operations to fund these expansions. So we think we have a solid business plan with sound financial judgment. So we're not, getting ahead of ourselves too much, but we're not sitting on our hands either. So we feel like we're being aggressive in the right way to expand our business and improve our item production into 2026.
Tom, I'm sure you're going to be having many more conversations as the year progresses. Thank you very much for taking the time today.
Thanks, Stephen.
That's Dr. Tom Becker, the CEO of Iofina.